Razia Sultana was the first female head of the state to rule over subcontinent in an age of complete male domination. It was unusual for her father, Sultan Iltutmish, to nominate her as his successor, and it proved quite an anomaly as her rule was bitterly contested and she was subsequently dethroned. Her father is credited with putting the fledgling Muslim rule in India on firm footing, and he is rightly considered the founder of Delhi Sultanate that ruled for more than 3 centuries, after which it was replaced by the Mughals. As Iltutmish was nearing death after hastily returning from campaign due to his illness, his courtiers urged him to nominate a successor with a view to avoid succession struggle. Iltutmish was convinced that his eldest daughter, Raziya, had all attributes required for kingship, though she lived out of the public eye, and accordingly named her successor and put her name in writing as the heir of kingdom and successor to the throne. He brushed aside the reservation of his courtiers by saying that his sons are devoted to the pleasures of youth and none of them was qualified to be the king, and that Razia was the best choice to succeed him as she was more competent to guide the state. Sultan Iltutmish chose Razia not out of any sentimental attachment to his daughter but due to sound judgment, as she was very capable woman possessing ample administrative experience, as Iltutmish had often left her in charge of the government when he was away on military campaigns, and she had exercised royal authority with great dignity and competence. His preference was unconventional as according to prevailing practice in Islamic societies, while women, however ambitious and able, could indulge in political affairs from behind the harem screen. It was therefore not surprising to witness the noble discomfited with this nomination that had disastrous result for Razia Sultana. As was expected, the powerful nobles of the Sultanate disregarded the choice of Sultan Iltutmish and placed his eldest surviving son Rukunuddin Firoz on the throne. However, by placing Firoz on the throne, they allowed the very feminine influence they were avoiding as Shah Turkan, the low-born former handmaiden of Iltutmish, who was Firoz's mother, to rule the roost, as Firoz was only interested in pursuit of pleasure and left the rule in hand of his mother. Shah Turkan was a very vindictive woman, and soon she set about avenging the indignities that she had suffered in the royal harem at the hands of the high-born wives of Iltutmish by putting some of them to death and subjecting others to gross humiliation. She even blinded a young son of Iltutmish and had him put to death, fearing that he might grow up to be a threat to Firoz. Shah Turkan also tried to kill Razia but did not succeed. The environment was conducive for trouble, and soon several provincial governors broke out in rebellion. And when Firoz marched out against them, Razia successfully garnered public sentiments against Shah Turkan. The people rose in revolt and after seizing the royal palace imprisoned Shah Turkan. Firoz was left with no option but to rush back to Delhi, where he was also seized and put to death, clearing the path for Razia to win the throne. She was proclaimed the Sultan by public acclaim and nobles accepted her sovereignty. It was a sea change in the annals of governance and created its history in so many ways. In November 1236, she ascended the throne and assumed the title Raziuddin, and following the footsteps of her father issued coins bearing the title. It may be worthwhile to mention that her father was the first Muslim ruler in the subcontinent to issue coin in his name. That actually made him the first Muslim ruler, as issuance of coinage was a specific privilege legitimizing kingship. He also initiated reading of Friday Khutbah in his name, understood to be another attribute of kingly power and status. Right from the outset, Razia had to face difficulties as her accession was resented by some of the provincial governors, who then threateningly converged on Delhi with their armies. Razia very resolutely faced this situation and was able to sow dissension within their rank, letting the confederacy against her collapse. Razia's energy and decisiveness in dealing with the crisis earned the admiration of several of vacillating nobles and won them over her side. Emboldened by her success, Razia then broke free from the conventional constraint of harem, and 3 years after her accession removed her veil and appeared in public.